Hi everyone, welcome back to FRAG-MENTAL. Thank you for joining me. Something a little bit different but special for you today. There's a fantastic company called Insider Parfums. We're going to go into what they do as a company, but to talk about it, I've got the brand owner, Dan Rothschild. Dan, welcome to my channel for the first time.
Thank you very much, Chris. A real pleasure to be here.
Stay tuned to hear more from Dan. Dan, can I just say, it's a pleasure to meet you in the flesh for the first time.
Thank you very much. Likewise.
I'm only slightly disappointed.
Oh, really? Why's that?
Well, you're not as grumpy as I thought you would be. That's if I'm honest.
Give it time, Chris.
Dan is someone that I've followed on Instagram, I think, for pretty much nearly as long as I've been doing YouTube and Instagram.
Well, I've been doing it a long time, and you've been doing this a long time.
Just let the people at home know your Instagram handle.
It's Fragrance Weirdo, a name that I chose 7-8 years ago, and I'm stuck with forevermore, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? You know, we choose these names before we've started out, before we've got a single follower, and then we kind of stuck with them, really.
Forever.
Because we create these brands.
I know.
And then we have to own them, don't we? Speaking of owning brands, Dan has set up a company called Insider Parfums, and I think they're doing some really great stuff, some important stuff for the community, some important stuff for the consumers. Dan, just let us know what Insider Parfums is doing and how it started.
Sure. Okay, so Insider Parfums is really trying to do a few things. We are trying to bring back long lost, discontinued gems such as Tom Ford, Japon Noir and Master Perfumer, but we're also trying to bring and restore perfumes to their former glory. So everyone I think knows AVENTUS and will have tried it and will know that it's something of a shadow of its former self. So we have restored it to its 2011 glory. And then the third sort of angle is to try and democratize, in a sense, some of the very expensive perfumes. I respect and admire brands like Henri Jacques for their innovation and creativity, but I find it unfair that the only way you can experience the smell is to go to Harrods, go to the 6th floor and spend £700–800 plus on a bottle of perfume. And I think, you know, we can do something to democratize that whilst retaining a respect for the original brand. Yeah,
there's a lot of fragrance lovers out there that genuinely just love fragrance. They love collecting fragrances. They're not able to realistically, you know, afford those types of fragrances. And you feel that as people who generally just love fragrance, they should have an opportunity to own them and wear them properly and smell them.
I think so. I think so. And I accept and, you know, acknowledge that these brands put in a vast amount of creative work and resources into creating these incredible perfumes, but I think people shouldn't be confused about their pricing strategy. And when they are charging £700 or £800 plus, and some of these can run to many thousands of pounds, that price does not reflect their cost in any way whatsoever. And so what we wanted to do was try and democratize that a little bit and bring some of these amazing experiences to the fragrance community, fragrance enthusiasts, people who want to smell these incredible creations, but quite reasonably cannot afford to, or maybe they don't live near the LA boutique or the Harrods 6th floor, whatever. So yeah, this is our way of doing that.
This massive cost that some of these fragrances are being sold at is to do with all the, you know, the research and the time and the development that has gone on, and that's fair enough. If that's what it costs to create these amazing fragrances, then that's what it costs.
Sure.
But what you're saying is you've been able to skip the research and development costs a little bit and offer what you think is the same kind of smell, the same quality, but for a much lower price point.
That's exactly it. And I think we shouldn't sort of confuse ourselves about, you know, the creative process. Clearly, what we're doing isn't on the same level as Henri Jacques. We're not doing all that research. We haven't created those perfumes. That is absolutely fair enough. It's very unfair, we think, that people simply don't get to try these because they're so exclusive. And so we are helping to try and bring those experiences to other people in a way that we think is fair and respectful, and also focuses on quality, because bringing decent quality products is really what we're all about.
Yeah, and you can argue with things like this that, you're not necessarily taking money away from the brands that you're inspired by because they're appealing to a different market. Someone that can afford an £800 fragrance probably isn't going to be looking at Insider Parfums. They're going to go to Henri Jacques and purchase the originals.
That is absolutely the case, 100%, yes. If you ever go to one of these boutiques, you'll see these are incredibly wealthy people shopping there for whom, you know, spending this amount of money on a fragrance is really neither here nor there. For most fragrance enthusiasts, spending that amount of money on a perfume would be almost impossible. And yeah, so we are definitely catering to different demographics.
Yeah, you're targeting a part of the market that wouldn't be buying the originals.
100%.
They would be sitting at home wishing they could smell the originals.
Yeah.
And now they can.
And now they can. They no longer have to dream. They can smell as wonderful as everyone else.
You're coming at this from the angle of everyone watching this video, everyone that loves fragrances, fragrance collectors, fragrance enthusiasts. You are one of these people.
I mean, I think it's fair to say there's a lot of clones on the market, okay? And, you know, a lot of these brands are really quite cynical, in my view. There's no real passion for the perfumery. They're not really interested in putting out a quality product. What you end up with is these very generic, cash-grabbing, poor quality products. Whereas my particular love of fragrance and my background has meant that I've been quite obsessive about trying to put out the best quality product I possibly can.
We're talking about brands that charge £700–800 for a fragrance. What have you done to try to recreate that similar quality?
We work with a perfume industry insider. That's actually where the name Insider comes from. We can't name the perfumer because they don't want their name understandably associated with copying other perfumers' work. They are a genuine master perfumer in Europe, and we've been working with them. I happened to meet that person through a chance encounter, completely chance encounter. We've been working with them now for a couple of years, and I've just said to them, look, we're not bothered about the price. What we want to focus on is the quality. Quality first, and then if it's too expensive, then we won't put it out. But let's try and create the best possible product we can, and so that's how the range has been born.
And I think that differentiates Insider from other brands because we all know that a formula can be put into a machine and the machine can spit out the other end something that smells similar, but you're not doing that. You are using a human being who is a trained perfumer
100%.
who's creating these fragrances for you. So,
and the other thing that we do is we make sure that we create these as strong as we can. So all of our perfumes are at least 25% fragrance oil, some of them actually 30%. So we try and make these perfumes strong because we know that perfume lovers want their fragrance to last all day. They want to be able to spray it and enjoy it for a reasonable period of time.
Yeah, and a fragrance doesn't necessarily have to be obnoxious and fill the room, but we just want it to last.
Absolutely. I don't believe in beast mode fragrance. I think it's a terrible thing. It can be quite offensive. But on the other hand, I do want people to at least notice the perfume that I'm wearing, and I want them to be able to notice it several hours after I've sprayed it.
Notice it in a good way rather than a choking them out kind of way. Yeah.
Absolutely, yes. If you leave them gasping for air, it's probably not ideal.
As fragrance enthusiasts, there are a few bumps in the road, aren't there? Because we might fall in love with a fragrance and that might become our signature scent. And then suddenly it's whipped away from us without having the opportunity to do anything about it. And sometimes it might even be too late to get backup bottles. Insider are resurrecting discontinued fragrances, again, which I think is great because otherwise we'd never get a chance to smell these fragrances that we've not had a say in whether they're taken off the market or not.
No, absolutely. What's interesting is that a fragrance might be withdrawn by a major brand such as Tom Ford for not being profitable enough, but that's because they have far higher profitability expectations than a small brand such as ourselves. So something which for Tom Ford, they say, well, this is not making enough money, doesn't mean it's unprofitable, but they will withdraw it and terminate. So Moss Breeches is a perfect example. For us, you know, that doesn't mean that we can't bring it back, make a decent product and make a small profit on top of that. So that's what we've focused on doing, is trying to find those little niches that allow us to do something that people want.
That is a great example of you are absolutely not taking away any business from a brand because they are no longer offering that fragrance.
Yeah,
so
not at all.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
no one would be buying it from them because they can't, but
No.
they can come to Insider and...
Indeed, you know, if people want to go on eBay and try and find a bottle of Moss Birches, good luck to you. But I mean, if you do find one, the odds are you will be paying something like £1,000 for it, which is, I mean, it's borderline criminal. And so we feel that offering a extremely close representation of the original Moss Birches at a very fair price, we think that's a great business model.
Have we got Moss Birches here?
Yes, so mossy bridges.
Mossy bridges. Obviously that is the English interpretation of
Moss
Moss
Birch.
Yeah.
Yes, close enough.
Yeah, close enough. So I've never smelled the original. When was it discontinued? I think it was discontinued after I got into fragrances.
I think it was only ever actually manufactured for 1 year.
I've never smelled it. I've never had the opportunity because it wasn't available to buy. So let's dive in. I mean, it smells great.
It does.
I mean,
I can smell it from here. It's so strong.
It's a mossy, gentlemanly Tom Ford fragrance. A lot of energy. It's bright. Obviously, I don't know the original, but it doesn't smell like an approximation of something. It smells like something that is really sure of what it is.
The great thing about Moss Birches is that it's this kind of mossy honey. There's a sort of beeswaxy honey sort of vibe to it. And I've always loved this perfume. It's one of those ones that I certainly didn't spend £1,000 on a bottle, by the way, but I have sought it out as being one of those perfumes that I had to have. I think it's an amazing, amazing fragrance, and I am absolutely delighted with the quality of the product that we've been able to put out in comparison. I will say, I feel like Mossy Bridges is a bit stronger than the original.
Yeah.
And that's sort of by design because the original didn't last so terribly long for people.
Right.
But I think, you know, this lovely mellowed honey chypre, very mossy, herbaceous, a little bit sweet, and a really perfect gentlemanly fragrance, as you said. I think it's a very refined gent type perfume.
Yeah, it's bright. I get like a green coniferous type of vibe to it. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, you'd wear this dressed up, maybe, you know, in a suit, or if you
suited and booted.
Suited and booted. You have a version of AVENTUS. Whilst that isn't a discontinued fragrance, there are formulas of AVENTUS that essentially are discontinued because they're not the same as the current formulation.
Absolutely. AVENTUS was a perfume that I wore in 2011 when it came out, and I remember telling my wife, I want to smell like this forever. And frankly, I think if they hadn't watered it down so much, I may well still be wearing it because it was amazing. But the fragrance these days is a very, very pale imitation of it. And so what we've tried to do is restore it to its former glory. Now, I know that you can throw a stone out of this window and probably hit half a dozen AVENTUS clones. There are a lot of dupes on the market. Ours is this kind of bottom-up rebuild by a human, designed to be the best quality product possible. And certainly the feedback we've had has been fantastic.
One of my favourite new releases is Absolute AVENTUS.
Yeah.
And I think your Insidious Absolute is a fantastic recreation of that. And again, people who are buying or would pay the prices of Insidious Absolute, which is £85, is it?
Absolutely, yeah.
For what size bottle? 50 ml bottle?
It's 50 ml.
Yeah. If you are, you know, that person who thinks you'd love Absolute AVENTUS, but it's a little on the pricey side, then this is definitely a more affordable option to try.
Absolutely.
Well, I think I just wanted to bring Dan on because I've tried a few of the fragrances, and I think what they're doing is really providing a service that other companies that do clones or dupes or whatever aren't providing. It's all done by a master perfumer. It's giving you the opportunity to experience fragrances you wouldn't otherwise be able to get to try. As a fragrance enthusiast, I think that's great. I wanted you guys to know about it as well. So Dan, thanks for coming in and
Thank you.
Telling us all about Insider. I'll leave links to Insider Parfums in the description below the video, so please go and check out the website. There's a good few on there, but I'm guessing there's going to be more coming out as time goes on.
We've got a whole bunch more coming, hopefully over the next 6 to 12 months.
If you're watching this video and you have a fragrance that you love that has been discontinued, throw it down in the comments because you never know, they might be able to put that on the radar for something that they release.
Absolutely.
I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful and informative. It's been great to have Dan on the channel for the first time. I'm going to make a few more videos while I've got him, so make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you can see the other videos we're going to shoot. Make sure you go to Instagram and follow Fragrance Weirdo. I will link that also in the description, and give Dan a follow. And Insider Parfums as well. Why not go to Instagram and follow Insider too, so you can see what their newest releases are. All right, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. If you liked it, give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you do all that, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.